I want to give a big thanks to our music team for such beautiful music and for humoring me with some of the choices that I asked them to play. The first one was the Joy, Joy, Joy song, and I sing that in the car every single morning to get myself jazzed up for the day. So sometimes I got to take the jazzed up energy and calm it down a little bit, so bear with me today. I wanted to talk a little bit about shining our light. Of course, that's been the theme with the daily word and so forth. And I've been doing a lot of thinking about this over the past couple of months. I've also been looking at the book, Loving What Is, which Danita mentioned last week, or the week before. And in that book, we are asked to think of a situation or a person that we're having trouble with or concern about or just upset with. And we're asking ourselves 4 questions. And we're going to talk just today about the first question, which is it true? Is it true? How do we know what something makes something true? And so I've been thinking a lot about truth and our perception of truth and all of those kinds of things. And so not that I'm here today to tell you what the truth is. Don't misunderstand. I'm not trying to be grandiose. But we know that lots of things create our truth about people, places, events. Some of those things are our thoughts. Some of those things are our feelings. And some of those things are our words. And those things go together, thoughts, feelings, and words, to create more of the same. And so I wanted to give you just an example of a thought that I've had, and I'm sure probably many of you have had on some occasion. Just a simple example. I'm walking along in my house and I see a sock on the floor. And I'm like, gosh, dang it. There's another stinking sock on the floor. My son must have left this here. What a lazy, ungrateful son. How does that make me feel? Not very good. Like I'm feeling bad about myself for having raised such an ungrateful son. And I'm feeling upset with him. He did something to me. I'm a victim in some way. So those are the thoughts that are going through my mind. And when you can create a pause between the thoughts, and the words that come out of your mouth, then you have the opportunity to do something that I've just been referring to for myself as neutralizing your language. And neutralizing the language takes some of the emotion out of it and just states a fact. So is it true that my son is an ungrateful person? Or is there simply a sock on the floor? The sock is on the floor. So the sock being on the floor doesn't have to mean anything. It can mean things if I allow it to mean things, but it doesn't have to. And I can use my words and neutralize my words so that I can get to a place of calm. And if I can get to a place of calm, then I may be able to get to a place of understanding. Maybe he dropped it as he was walking with his full laundry basket up the stairs, which I've seen him do. Maybe it fell out on the way down to the laundry, so it could be a dirty sock or a clean sock. I don't know, but it could be something different than what I had imagined. And that makes me feel better than my first statement. So how do we come to truth? In Don Miguel Ruiz's book, The 4 Agreements, he talks about creating the illusion, making agreements with with things when we are in childhood. Starts with our parents and our brothers and sisters and friends and then schoolmates, etc. But we learn how to label. We learn how to describe. We learn how to categorize. And in doing so, we kind of pigeonhole people into certain places. I can say that I see an old, bald man looming over me at church. Or I could say, there's a person that wants to hug me. So there's a difference between those things. And certainly there's a great value in describing things in our culture. Just in my job, I have to describe things very specifically, or else I get queries from the coding team about how to bill the encounter. So I have to talk about whether something is on the left or the right, or it's both sides, whether it just happened or whether it's been happening for a long time, whether it's controlled or not controlled. And I have to say, and are they taking certain medicines or not, and did I change the medicine? So there are a lot of different things that I have to be specific about in order to get a coding and billing done for the clinic in my practice. In science, we've described things down to the ever nitty-gritty. We look at its size, its weight, its shape, it's all of these things, and we categorize things into the genus and species and all those things we learned in high school. But that also creates a specific truth with no wiggle room at all, to understand something in a different way. So I've been working really hard on neutralizing my language, and even to the point where I've been referring to people as people rather than a certain gender, and that has been very liberating. I feel like I finally have gotten closer to an understanding, as best I can, of the transgender community, of the non-binary community, because they're not pigeonholing themselves. Or if they are, it's by their choice. And so that's been really freeing. It has allowed me to do a lot more acceptance work and that sort of thing. And then, if we think about neutral's kind of blah, but it's a peaceful, calm place. And if we want to shine our light onto the truth, we can create our truth to be joyful, to be loving, to be kind. And so it's a jumping off place for saying something that's more positive. And just one example, again, from my little lonely life here. My son recently started attending University of Oregon. Yay, go Ducks! And for the past couple months, though, of course, everybody tells you, oh, you're going to have an empty nest. Oh, it's going to be really hard. So I took all that stuff in and internalized it, and I was saying things to myself like, I don't know what I'm going to do without him. How is it going to be? My husband won't have anything to do because he spends time at night with my son. It's going to be horrible. I'm going to miss him so much. And all of those things, again, made me feel bad. So I tried very hard to kind of neutralize the language and say, I mean, the fact is that my son is in college. That's it. That's the only fact that was in all of those statements. The rest were fears and angers and upset and all of that. And so now that I had neutralized my language, I was able to jump off to a place of joy and saying, my son is going to college. He's going to have a great adventure. He's going to meet new friends. He's going to have all kinds of new experiences that every person hopefully will have in their lives. And I'm excited for him. I really, truly am. I can feel that joy. And every time those other thoughts come up, which they do, of course, those thoughts keep coming up, I get back to neutral, and then I go to the jumping off place again. So it is so helpful to learn that. And the closer that I am to loving thoughts, the closer we are to loving thoughts, to joyful thoughts, to forward-moving thoughts, the closer we are to God. And if we talk about the unity principles, the first principle is God is all there is. There's only one God. Number 2 is we are one with God. And number 3 is our thoughts create our reality. Let's create a reality of joy and excitement as much as we're able. Obviously, there are times where we're just not going to feel that. And we're having grief over the loss of a pet or the loss of someone in our lives or a job or what have you. And so it's hard to create those positive emotions. But sometimes, even in those states, you can get to neutral and remind yourself over and over that you need to come back to neutral. But there are many qualities of the universal spirit of truth. Peace, joy, love, omnipotence, omnipresence, all of those kinds of things. So those are all the same things that we are. We all have them in our being because we are one with God. So when we create words and feelings and such that create a closer connection with God, then we're better able to shine our light. And that's what we're here to do on this planet, I think, is to shine our light to other people, connect with other people in nature and so forth. We know that everything is made out of energy. Einstein said that energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. And everything is made out of energy, including thoughts, feelings, and emotions, but also things like the air, little electrons bouncing around far away from each other, so it makes up a gas. And then we have liquids, which are a little bit of slower moving electrons. And then we have solid wood, like the podium, that is just such slow moving energy that it appears solid, but it's still energy. And our bodies are energy too. Nerves conduct electricity. We have brain cells that are sending out electricity. Muscle cells respond to the electrical impulses. And obviously, our heart generates love. It generates peace. It generates connection. And so when we're connecting with each other on a heart-to-heart level, nothing can feel better. I spend a lot of time in my practice just sending my love to the person that I'm hearing. I'm hearing their story about what's been going on in their lives and how their health issues are affecting them and so forth. And they're not really there sometimes for my advice. They're just there to be listened to and for me to give them my heart. And that's what we can do for each other. So I want to do just a little experiment here. So if you would humor me, if you'll take your hands and put them together and then just rub them back and forth. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And stop, but keep your hands together. What do you feel? Warmth. Yeah. Does anybody feel any kind of like tingling or sensations in their hands? Yeah. Now, pull your hands apart just a little bit and see what you can still feel. Can you still feel just a little warmth or tingling or something like that? Try it again a little further. You might still feel something in your hands. And so the energy goes beyond our body. It goes beyond the limits of our skin. And that's how we can connect with each other heart to heart. So I would like to see us all try to connect with each other. We have a lot of old people and old people and old new people here, all sharing space.
Just plain old people.
Exactly. I don't know. Let's shine the light on it. So hopefully we can share our hearts with each other, hold hands if we're comfortable, and share the love that we all have in our hearts. I know I'm running a bit early, but that's what I have to say. So, Angela, would you come up? We're going to take this into meditation. We're going to do a little practice of shining our light. So if everybody get comfortable and put your feet on the floor so nothing is obstructing you. And if you feel comfortable, go ahead and close your eyes. Sink down into your heart space. Imagine your heart beating, flowing life through your body. And feel the warmth coming from your heart. Now, you're going to envision a light Could be a white light, could be a purple or red light, any color you want, any color that you feel represents you. And picture that light taking up the space of your heart, filling you with love, filling you with peace. And as that light expands, it starts to fill up more of your chest, filling the space with love. Imagine it filling the rest of your body, going down your arms and your legs and into your head, vibrating with energy, vibrating with joy. Then, imagine that the light is going beyond your body, just like the energy between your hands was further than your hands. And that love energy will spill over into your neighbor next to you. And their energy will spill over into you. And you're sharing that heart energy. See if you can feel the energy coming from your neighbor. And if you can't actually feel it, just imagine. And then we're going to imagine the tendrils of light coming from our heart, going up through our heads and around the room. And just like the weave of the tapestry song that we sang earlier, we are weaving our energies together, filling each other with light, filling each other with love. And later today, when we take this energy with us, we will send this light out to other people. And that is how we change the world. We're going to take this into a moment of silent meditation and just sit here and feel the energy. Now come back to your seat. Bring your energy back to yourself. And you're going to hold it in your heart for use whenever you need it to connect with someone. Or sometimes just for yourself if you're not feeling good. You can spread that love energy throughout your body to give love to yourself. Feel yourself back in the chair. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes.